kind of hard for me. How can I do this? Moan. What is going on, everyone? This is Play by Play Tech, episode 28. I'm your host, Max Chambliss, alongside my road dog, Moandogg Gaming. What's going on?
I thought you was gonna give me one of those crazy intros. I'm like, up here we go.
No crazy intros. I couldn't think about anything at the moment.
What's going on, guys? Yeah. We're back for another episode, and I mean, hey, we're here. I mean, that's all I can really say, right? We're grateful. We're glad to be here. We're on a good side of of everything else, and thank God for it. But what you get into this week, Max?
I've been playing a lot of games. Actually, I finally got into Final Fantasy now.
Got into what?
Final Fantasy 7 remake.
How you like it? I
finally got on that. I love it.
It's an awesome game.
It's a really good game. I think Square Enix did a phenomenal job. Like I say, I'm still in the beginning and stuff like that, but no, they done.
Well, do you remember all the events that happened in that game?
Well, are you talking about the original game, or are you talking about
the original?
Yeah, I remember all the events from the original. Yeah,
so you'll know where all the extra stuff is coming from.
Yeah, so Yeah, I think they did a good job. I can see where are certain things was added and stuff like that, and they kind of modernized certain things, which I think is good. I mean, I love it and stuff. So I just been trying to play it, right when everyone else is asleep and stuff, and probably try to get an hour in or 2 hours in if I'm lucky and stuff like that. But yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's
been
like
good.
media scenes though. You try to get that amount of time in, and it's like you play a scene, and it's like 30 minutes of talking and kind of like a movie setup, and
Yeah,
then you get the gameplay. So, I mean, I do like
yeah.
that aspect of it.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it reminds me of Final Fantasy VII Advent Children. If anybody have saw that movie, I
Oh, that
think their
movie's awesome.
animation, yeah, that animation look. I don't know. I want to say Advent. I think the PlayStation 4 version looks almost better, if not better than Advent Children back in, because that movie came out. Gosh,
That movie came out
2008,
when we
2009.
were, yeah, when we were in our 20s, I believe.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, I'm thinking about that when that came out. But anyway, uh, I think the graphics looks better than that movie in certain aspects of it. Actually, the more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm saying yeah, because the detail of it is it's crazy good. It's crazy good what they did. They did a great, and that's just on the PlayStation 4. So I could just imagine what it'll look like on the PlayStation 5 if they ever decide to optimize it or do whatever, enhanced it or whatever. The only thing I kind of wish they would have done in the game is to unlock the frame rate or push it to like
Man, that's the
60,
only
60
reason why I
frames.
haven't played it yet. Is it's
Yeah.
I can't. It's the one of the reasons why I stopped playing the Star Wars game Fallen Order, because it's an awesome game. It has awesome story, but then I just couldn't get with the frames to 30. And I stopped playing
Yeah.
it.
This is kind of like going to our topics. They just came out with an update. I think it was today or earlier this week. Yeah, this has made an update for the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and Series S where now they have a consistent frame rate. They did have a performance mode on there already, but it wasn't working great with the Xbox One X and the PS4 Pro. So they did an update that it's not the optimized. I'm making sure I'm telling people it's not the optimized version for the Xbox Series X or the PlayStation 5. It's an update that says it's PS5 and Xbox Series X, but it's not the optimized version. So what they did was they upped it from 1080p to 1440p at 60 frames, and they did the same thing on both consoles. So I think I sent you the link. If you scroll down a little bit further, yeah, there it is. You'll see Xbox Series S. Yeah, it went from now it's at a solid 60 frames from 45. Xbox Series X got increased to 60 frames, and then it went from 1080p to 1440p. And then it said the post processing has been increased to 4K dynamic resolution and stuff. So that's if you don't put the non-performance mode on there. And then PlayStation 5, you got the 60 frames on there. And then the post processing increased to 1440p and stuff.
So
Dynamic
is this the
resolution.
door opener for 1440p for PlayStation? I mean, when I look at this, it's like,
So, so, so here's the weird part, and somebody did a video on this too. So the weird part is that for Xbox Series X and Xbox Series S, you see they have a performance mode and then they got a normal mode. For the PlayStation 5, they didn't do that. They just have PlayStation 5. So I don't know if you do performance mode, if it's just 1080p 60 or is the normal mode 1440p from the original 1200. I'm how I'm reading this. I think is 1200p at 60, because if you look at, you see dynamic resolution has been disabled and the game is rendering at 1200p, up from 810 to 1080p.
so something about this tells me that something is unlocked with PlayStation, because from when these systems came out, it was either 1080p or 4K, and it was just at a locked frame rate. So I'm assuming that an update, it had to come out firmware up to unlock this stuff.
So this, I keep talking about this. I think I talked about this in multiple episodes. So what I'm saying from last gen consoles is that they've been saying this 4K stuff. I don't think it was really all this 4K stuff. I think they really starting to let people know that, hey, these games are really 1080p or 1440p, or it's not the real. And they've been using like dynamic or checkerboard or whatever rendering is to say it's 4K, but it's not really true 4K, native 4K. And so this is what I find kind of interesting. But the Xbox version seemed like it got a better update than the PlayStation 5. Like I said, I don't know why PlayStation 5 didn't get the 1440p kind of like Xbox Series X. I don't know. It could have been something. I don't know. Something that was either they had some problems doing for that specific game. I'm not saying it's a hardware problem. I'm wondering, like, from past generation, when you had a PlayStation 4, certain things is it takes more time to unlock to have that played at that resolution for the PlayStation 5. So I don't know. So I thought that was interesting and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I hope that's the door opener to 1440p, because I would love it on my, the high-end game monitor I got. To be honest with you, it actually really looks good in 1080p. And what it also helps me be able to reach those frame rates easily. So I really can't too much complain about it. If it's even through the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4, I mean, if you still were gaming at a 1080p and you still come over now to 1080p with the new systems, you'll still see a difference. But you won't get that clarity. So when I had the PlayStation 4 Pro, and everything wasn't in 4K, especially native. So back then wasn't even playing in a native resolution. But
all that stuff was checkerboard.
Yeah. Rendering. So in a sense, just the way I'm gaming now is fine. But I would rather have 1440p. I mean, at a 30, when I have 32-inch size, I think that's a perfect resolution combination of frame rates to put in a size monitor like this. Is when you start going big, is when you want to get into the 4K stuff. Am I going to look into getting the 4K monitor? Probably. I just can't sit back and just,
Yeah, actually, that brings us up to kind of like the next topic. So if you know the title of our podcast today, we covering CES conference 2021, and one thing that LG just announced is they coming out with a 32-inch version of their OLED monitor, and which is pretty interesting. Just the only question that I have now is that how much it's going to cost.
Man, I tell you what, ever since your review that you released on YouTube, by the way, check that out on Max's page. You got me skeptical about LG monitors.
Well, and people, I don't know. Like I said, I've been getting bashed left, and people have been going in on me talking about how dare you talk about LG and da da da. Look, it's my opinion. I don't care. I really don't care for the IPS glow. And then they'd be like, well, why did you get a gaming monitor and stuff like that? Because I just wanted to start in the gaming monitor, so I wanted to get it. So I ended up getting the VA panel and stuff, which is the Samsung Odyssey G7. I absolutely love it, but at the same time, too, I'd like OLED better. OLED is. I don't care what anybody say.
Clarity, man.
Everybody could go in and make their comments that they want. OLED had the superior picture quality, hands down. I don't care what you say. You can argue me down and stuff like that. OLED will always have the best picture quality. Now I know they got micro LEDs that's come out that was just announced too. But the thing is that they always trying to catch up to OLED capability.
Right.
And the only thing that OLED doesn't have compared to LED monitors, LCD monitors is they don't have the high frames. They don't have that the hertz like the 240 or the 360 and stuff like that. You see a lot of these monitors are going up in speed and stuff like that. Yeah, but for me specifically and stuff like that, I think I don't know if this is 160 hertz or 140. If you scroll down, I don't know if this new OLED model. I don't know what the hertz is.
I thought I saw 120. Here it is, 160.
Yeah, 160.
Mhm.
I didn't. I was gonna say 144, but no, I thought it was like, okay. So 160. So for me, I think that's plenty for me, in my opinion, and stuff. So
Yeah, when you
so
get into
just
the whole once, to be honest with you, 1440p is the sweet spot, and that's mainstream for the gaming PC gaming community. But anytime you get higher than that, I haven't been higher than that in any, because I've had a few 1440p monitors, and so I can't tell you if I can see the difference or not. When I go to Micro Center and look at it, I can't really tell the difference.
well, you can see it, but the issue with that is that you're really going to have a monster PC rig to really go up to those higher
Yeah,
frames, and especially even now with the new GPUs that came out from AMD and NVIDIA and stuff, playing at 4K at a high, like a 120 or higher or something like that. It's pretty hard. It's really demanding and stuff.
yeah.
So especially on PC. And not a lot of those those GPUs that just came out can't even do it
I mean,
at that
even with
high. I'm talking about
even
4K.
right, even with the 1440p monitor at 144, you can run it with a 3080 and you still won't hit ultra settings solid all the way through. It'd be
No,
90%. You'll
yeah,
reach it depending on what game you're playing and depending on what developers put uh in the game to allow you to achieve that. But a lot of trickery is involved if you want to actually be capped at those frame rates, like DLSS from NVIDIA. And what is AMD's version called?
AMD didn't come out with their version yet.
Okay, well, whatever it
They
is,
don't
it's a
have. They said they're working on it, but they don't have an answer to the
okay. Well, it's a
DLSS like
very
NVIDIA
advanced.
has.
Yeah, it's a very advanced upscaler, and it's amazing for NVIDIA to be able to reach those frames if you don't have the processing capability of your graphics card, or if you have a not a high end Titan, or what is it, 3090 or whatever. So, but I mean, even then, 1440p, 144, you're not gonna always hit that. People think you are. I mean, it's good to have it. It's a statement. You got a
Yeah,
3090 or what's the AMD's version? RX
59. The
yeah,
69. Yeah,
6900.
69.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
6900 XT.
yeah, so that's my only thing about it. So just tread lightly when you want to spend $1,500 or $1,000 on a graphics card. I mean, you'll do well with a 6800 or a 3080 or 3070. You still get beyond visual fidelity out of all those things. But don't ever think, if you're getting into the PC business, don't ever think that you're going to buy a graphics card and this is what you're going to hit all the time, because that's not. Developers is different strokes with different
Yeah,
folks.
yeah.
Hmm.
You only got a handful of games that can even hit that, and then you have to go down the resolution from, let's just say, 1440p to 1080p to even hit those type of high frames and
Yeah,
stuff. And even then, it's not even really consistent because it's kind of like depending on the demand and stuff. It's hard to do that. So that's, I mean, that's good news. I'm happy that LG finally making a monitor of that size, because that was one of my only thing is that they always been pushing OLEDs, but when it came to the gaming monitors and stuff, it's just like, I don't know why they couldn't do a smaller version. They came out
right.
with a 48 version and stuff, but I thought that was just way too big in my opinion
Yeah,
and stuff. But 32, that's it right there and
yeah.
stuff. And
I
like I
mean, they have a
said,
32, but it was comparable to the one you did the review on, and you took it back.
yeah.
So,
Oh yeah, I
uh,
took that thing. Right? Yeah, but now on the other hand, yeah, I may sell my Samsung G7. I know people are saying like, how you say it's so great? Yeah, it's so great, but OLED is so much
but
better.
isn't that what Quantum died, or no?
It's supposed to be.
Okay,
Yeah, it's like I said. I love what Samsung has done with this monitor and stuff, but like I said, I go over picture quality more than anything else, and I know that LG will deliver when it comes to OLED side and stuff. And like I said, it's gonna be sucked down. I'm not gonna get the 240 and stuff like that, but I'll be good without that. Let's give me the 160 give me the 160 hertz, and I could play my games. I'll be content and stuff. I'll be good. That will be my monitor that I have for like 4 or 5 years and stuff like that. It's just a question is how much it's going to cost. If it's going to cost like 1,000, 1,200, 1,300, whatever it is, that's where I'm going to be like, nah, I'm not paying that.
There's so many other monitors.
I could get myself a real good TV.
Yeah, or a monitor that's just about there. I mean, you don't have to. I mean, my monitor has everything your monitor has besides the 240. Your higher besides the 240. And I paid I got it on a deal from Amazon at one point. I don't know if it was Amazon Day, but I paid $365 for it. But it was like a $600-700 monitor, so that was a steal. I when I saw that, I just stole it. But you don't have to put your money into all that. There's so many other the competitors towards that one to where you can get all those specs for a lower price. But I mean, if you have the money, get whatever you want. But I just don't suggest. I wouldn't buy it. Well, it depends on this LG one. I might get sucked into this one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll see and stuff because I don't know. It's like when I saw that announcement, I was like, oh, I just can't wait to bring this up on the podcast. Yeah, because I was like looking at it, I was like, oh, this is going to be great.
Well, what about the Eve monitor? Remember that one's supposed to come out, or is it already out?
It still didn't come out yet. It's supposed to come out December of last year, and
the same thing that happened to their tablets. They're going through the same thing. So I mean, you got to meet them dates, especially people who do that Kickstarter. I mean, they want their devices, man.
I was gonna put my money down on that, and I was really gonna get that monitor, but then I was hearing that it kept on getting pushed back on date, and that's why I was like, no, I'm not getting this. I don't want to be suckered in and give out $100, and then end up finding out, that it's gonna be pushed out another year and stuff. So that's why I went ahead and I needed a monitor anyway last year because it's like I work from home, and it's like I could have bought one of my monitors from work and stuff, but it's just the thing is that I love my job and stuff like that, but I wanted to get my own monitor because I don't want to go through the business of taking the monitor back. So I wanted to get my own monitor, and so I got my own monitor. I love it and stuff like that. But at the same time, too, I'm a tech person. Mo's a tech person. I love doing upgrades. So if this LG OLED monitor comes at a really nice price, someone who is streaming right now, who's watching our podcast, if you want to get a Samsung G7 with
or
the warranty,
G9, that's expensive.
and it has the warranty on there. I got that Best Buy warranty on there, and that was a hefty $100 on that. So if anything goes wrong with it, you are covered. But like I said, I had to see what the price is. But for being on YouTube, it's like I always have to get the latest and greatest stuff. So I have to see how this goes and stuff. So so now you have a topic. So what's your topic?
So this is sad. So this company Super, I guess that's how they're pronounced, because you got the SUP3R5, so Super. They canceled all the PS2 themed orders after receiving credible death threats to team safety. That sucks. Because, dude, I was even looking into this all black PS2 themed PS5, and they look amazing. They even customized the controller, and people are all over it. They literally sold out in seconds when they finally released the pre-orders, and now they have to give all that money back. But I knew this probably wasn't going to go all the way through. I mean, look at what happened with the shields that we want, right? So
yeah.
But that was that company's fault. They didn't follow some sort of rule or whatever the case may be. But I feel bad for those people. That's all I can really say. I mean, people were going nuts over this when they first announced this. And then this is my first time ever hearing of these people. Have you ever heard of them before, Max?
You know what I did? I saw a report about this where you had to turn your PS5 and then they were going to do the PS3 version of it. Yeah, I heard about it, but I already knew this was going to be shut down because it was just the thing is that Sony's not going to have it and stuff like that. If you're going to profit off of Sony, and Sony don't see any money out of this, it's kind of like no, they're gonna put a rap to that. They already got their lawyers, they got their attorney. Those lawyers are hungry. They said, let me see something that people are making money to talk to Sony about. They are
Sony
hungry.
They are not open to really anybody. They're stuck at their proprietary everything.
Oh.
No,
the thing is, it's not just stuck on their own proprietary. It's just the fact is that if they're not seeing a piece of that money and stuff, they going to shut that down. So they're gonna shut.
I really can't argue with that though.
yeah. I mean, because that's what you got to think about. We have the hottest system out.
You're using our name and product.
Using our name and product, and then you trying to profit from us, and we're not seeing any of that green. No. They turn that
solid.
down.
Never been solid.
They're turning that down right now and stuff. So yeah. So what other topic you wanted to throw?
So this one's pretty interesting. I don't know if you guys were so okay, let's backtrack a little bit. Growing up, I think we talked about this before about the cabinets that we used to play in the stores or go to the arcade and you play Marvel vs. Capcom or even older games, Donkey Kong and all that stuff. Mortal Kombat, I already said Mortal Kombat. But so at CES, Arcade One Up unveils some new cabinets for X-Men, Killer Instinct, and more. So I'm not a fan of the One Up Arcade. They're the ones I believe they're the ones you can buy out of Walmart. But they're not full size cabinets. They're like mini cabinets. I mean, they're tall. Well, they're not even that. So they're medium size. But then you gotta spend an extra, I forgot what it is, $100 for the stand that goes with it, and it makes it's still not full size to me because it's still skinny, but it makes it taller, almost to your height. And you get the one game out of it. I think they're like $300 or $400 that you buy it for. But I would rather buy something from Arcade X or another cabinet maker. Like me, I'm not a collector of the cabinets, so I wouldn't spend $1,000 or between $1,000 and $500 on one game cabinet like you would find. There's some of either the what do you call those stores? But pawn shops or an actual. There's one called Big Ben arcade cabinets, and you pay that kind of money for the old stuff that used to be in the old arcades that they picked up. I would buy a meme cabinet, meme, however you pronounce it, or I would buy a retro arch cabinet. And all you do, you literally don't have to buy that. You can just buy the parts or make it yourself. But I wouldn't suggest making it myself because you got to do all the wiring. But you can buy the kits and put your own computer in it and emulate it to where it works as a cabinet and put thousands and thousands and thousands of games on it. And it's from my understanding, it's very easy. So I can't tell you I had experience with it, but from the videos I've watched, from the things you can order, they even order self kits to where, all right, well, we'll put all the electronics together. You just got to install it in the cabinet. Put the cabinet together, you install it. But that's the route I would take. I think this is awesome for people who just want that one nostalgia to kind of go back and play some retro games, have your friends come over. Now, what I'm interested in is that, remember, the X-Men was like, 5 controllers or 4 controllers on one? So I'm interested to see if they kept that on there. But if you're going to spend, instead of collecting them, that's just my opinion. I'm not a collector of these, but if you wanted one of these things, I would buy. They're pretty pricey. They're like $1,500 to $2,000, but you can put thousands of games on it instead of paying that one price just because it was at, we're in Michigan. We used to go to this place called Butterfly, but you pay for a cabinet that used to be at a Butterfly, and you're spending the same amount for one game that you potentially gonna have to fix in the future because it's been out for 20, 30 years. So that's just my opinion on it. As far as those arcade cabinets, they're fun to play. It's awesome to have, all of us come back at once and we go in the game room that you have at your house and they see that and it's like, oh, it's on and popping. We got to play Mortal Kombat or something. But, most of the time that people buy these things, it's going to sit there because you're not going to play it by yourself. That's just how I look at it. But I think that is an awesome thing to their library because they have a few others. If you go to Walmart and see them, they're there. Also, Micro Center has cabinets, and these are the ones I'm talking about. They got full size cabinets. They're $1,000, and I think it's like $800 without the screen. You got to find the screen, put it in there, and then it's $1,000 with the screen. It's HD. All you got to do is put your computer in it. So that's one route to go with. And you can go in there and play them. They have them on display. They have them on. With the whole COVID thing, I don't know if everything's hooked up like that because everybody has to touch the controls and all that stuff. But if you ever want to see one of those, go to your local micro center. They have them on display. The screens and stuff may be off. They have Raspberry Pis in them. So I mean, you can be smart about it and put your system in there or get your Raspberry Pi, hook it all up, and then you're good to go. That's just me.
Yeah. No, I definitely. Yeah, I always wanted to get one of those arcade cabinets. It's just a thing. It's just really expensive at this moment, especially. That's something I'm probably gonna have to do like later down the line. I mean, eventually, yeah, I would love to have one, but it's just it is a big investment to get something like that. So yeah, that's
just something. If you saved a bunch of money and you're like, oh man, I got some money left, I got enough to get the cabinet in. Yeah, go get it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I want one, but I have nowhere to put it right now. I'm in a room that we converted into an office. I have nowhere to put it up here, and then our basement is not done, so I can't put it down there, and it's definitely not going on the main floor. The wife's not having that. What I'm gonna do? Put it in the kitchen? So I have nowhere to put it.
Yeah, no, you can't do that. No, you can't do that. Yeah, but it's interesting and stuff like that. Yeah, I probably might get one down the line, but yeah, I mean, it's good that they still keeping updates to that and stuff. So that's good to know. Yeah. Well, let me shift gears to now. I want to talk about TVs.
All right, what you got?
Yeah, because we kept talking about it on the podcast like multiple times throughout 2020 and stuff, and people was eating into me talking about like, I don't know why you don't want to get a TV now for the next generation consoles and Now I'm ready to get a TV this year because Sony has announced. Well, I love Sony TVs and stuff. I like LG TVs too and stuff. But the thing is with LG TVs,
they have the UI that a lot of people don't like.
well, the good thing is that this year they updated the UI and stuff. So LG specifically updated the UI. Sony updated the UI. So it's not
UI and their processors. The processors are awesome.
Yeah, so now they don't have for Sony specifically, they don't have Android TV, it's Google TV, and so that's a whole different look to it. Yep. LG redid their UI is Web OS 6, which looks nice too. So here's a good thing. So let me start off with LG first because I'm thinking about LG got a whole lineup. So all their OLED TVs. I want to say all of their OLED TVs, but they have OLED TVs that reach all the way up to 83 inches. And so now it seems like I'm noticing at CES is that this year it seemed like they going bigger in size. It used to be OLED's going to go as high as 77 inches. Now they reaching 83 inches. And so I'm trying to get my basement done. So once I get my basement done, that 83 inch looks like that's going to be the TV that I'm going to put in the basement and stuff. So yeah, 83 inches is the highest that they could do for OLED TVs. LG specifically said that they updated, got all new processors, got the Alpha 9 Gen 4 on their TVs. They have a new OLED TV called the Evo, and the Evo is supposed to be brighter than the other models or last year TVs. Now the question is how much brighter? I don't know and stuff. They say it's got a lot brighter, but nobody doesn't know how much brighter it's going to be. They did update the gaming too. I don't know. I still don't know if it's HDMI, the full bandwidth, HDMI 48. That I do not know, and I don't know. Other people know as well too. But it did say they made some updates to the gaming area. So it's like when you start playing a specific game, which I think is kind of sweet. The TV will know if it's a first-person shooter or RPG or or if it's sports or something like that, and the TV will recognize what's the best um, uh, picture to play it on, which is kind of interesting. I don't know how that's going to pan out and stuff, but they do got AMD. It's not a firmware update. They got AMD premium on there, so that's good for PS5 and Xbox and stuff like that. So they got ALM, VRR, and 4K 120, which they did have last year too, which is coming out this year, but now they just got a better processor. So they got a better processor and they got a little bit brighter OLED TV. So that's good news. For Sony, on the other hand, Sony pretty much is just like LG lineup. They got an 83-inch OLED version, but that's only set aside for the Master Series. So if people are into TVs and stuff like that, but you get 4K 120 and then you get ALM and VRR. But the ALM and VRR, that's going to be a firmware update. So hopefully they'll get that in before the TV comes out. But they're supposed to have that. But they're supposed to have bright OLEDs as well. How much brighter, who knows and stuff. But they have a new processor as well for their Sony TV.
It should be no less than 1,000 nits if they want to push that HDR content.
I don't know if it is or isn't and stuff like that. Like my OLED, my A9F, I think is
300, right?
I forgot what the nits are. They're probably like 600-700 nits.
That's like monitor nits.
But the thing is, for me specifically on my OLED, it's plenty bright for me and stuff like that. I think it's bright in my opinion, but I get where other people are talking about because they want a brighter OLED, which I'm all for it. I'm definitely all for it. They want a brighter OLED for people who are viewing during the daytime and stuff like that. And I do get their point. If you have windows all around your living room or your bedroom or wherever you have your TV at, and it's like shining on the TV, you really can't see what's going on. I can see that argument. That I get. And so then you have to close the blinds, and then you gotta make sure that's where you have to adjust the picture settings. That I get. I'll totally get that. And stuff. So I mean, that is like really good news. I really could go into detail as in like specifically which LG lineup, which Sony lineup, but for the sake of time, I don't have that. So I'll go ahead and do that for another podcast. But I'm kind of like doing a high level overview. I get excited by CES because I love talking about TVs. The other thing is that Samsung came out with their announcement as well too, and they coming out with a consumer level micro LEDs, and so that's going to be interesting. And what's interesting about that is that those specific TVs should coming out with a 12-bit. I don't know if it's going to be a 12-bit processor. It is like they have their lingo on there, but most TVs, well, I would say, I could say all the TVs that are out right now is only 10-bit. So going from a 10-bit to a 12-bit, you can say
what's the name of the panel? What's the name of the panel? Their new panels? Is it Neo QLED?
Yeah, it's Neo QLED.
Okay.
Yeah, go by
I just want to make sure before I pull this article up, because it's actually on the Samsung website, and it looks amazing.
Yeah, it's a Neo QLED. Like I said, they haven't announced the price on that, but I'm thinking that it's only going to be for the 8K lineup specifically. But Samsung did some like I said, people probably said like Samsung, LG, and Sony didn't really do too much of a good presentation. Look, I really don't care about the presentation that much. I just really care about the announcement. For me specifically, I thought it was good. Samsung has their own gaming setting too, where when you start playing your games, it has a menu, kind of like how a gaming monitor is, which is really nice. It will show specifically what your frames are, how the game frame rate dips. It shows that if it's in HDR mode, it shows AMD Premium Pro. I think that's the only TV that I know of that has AMD Premium Pro.
There's not a lot of. You mean FreeSync Premium Pro?
Yeah, excuse me, AMD FreeSync Premium Pro.
Not a lot of monitors have it. No problem. A lot of them are just, what is it, FreeSync 2 and FreeSync Premium. but not
FreeSync
Premium
Yeah, it's
Pro.
3. Yeah, and then Premium Pro is the highest.
Yeah.
Is the highest that you could possibly get. So my thinking is that well, no, it's not my thinking. They have to have an AMD chip in there.
Correct.
And stuff. So what they're doing is, and if people don't know, is that the TV won't do the processing. That AMD chip is going to do the processing only for gaming and stuff. So when it recognizes any type of game that is that has the same chip as well, like the AMD chip, like the Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series S, once it recognizes it, it will automatically sync and stuff. For PC, it's going to work for the PC as well if you have AMD stuff, but NVIDIA stuff, I'm not sure how that's going to work and stuff. I think it's only for AMD products. So that part I'm kind of fuzzy on and stuff, because I know G-Sync is definitely different from FreeSync, but
Correct.
it's very similar when it comes to what they're trying to do. So
yeah. I mean, it has to be different so they don't cross get sued over patent issues. But FreeSync, the major difference is that it's free to manufacturers to implement it in their hardware. Also, it doesn't cost the customer any extra money because it didn't cost the manufacturers any extra money. So when you see that stuff that's overpriced for a FreeSync monitor, it's because of the manufacturer. But just expect like one of the comments here, I see a guy named Hill Giant. He said things looks awesome, but it's probably quite pricey. Like everything that we're looking at right here is going to cost a lot of money.
It's going to cost a lot of money.
All these TVs that we're talking about, I mean, expect nothing to be less than $4,000, and that's for probably a 65-inch one of these TVs. That's just me guessing, because you still go in there now, even though these TVs are a year old, and you still paying this kind of money.
The thing is about it is, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good.
The only reason I'm saying it's exciting news is because now TV manufacturers are seeing that gaming is very, very important. They just came out with an announcement that gaming gaming industry makes more money than Hollywood movies. Period. They just came out. I forgot what the number is. Now, TV manufacturers are seeing this. By seeing this, is that now they are really pushing to push this gaming into their TVs. So people like us and people like the people who's watching this and stuff, they making this more mainstream instead of just getting a gaming monitor. Don't get me wrong, gaming monitors are going to be still on top of everything, dependent when it comes to that, but TV manufacturers are really taking note on that. On top of that, even though it is going to be expensive, you have other companies like TCL, which TCL just came out with an announcement as well too. Right. They coming out with an 8K TV and with their mini LEDs. And
what's crazy about that is that, and I don't mean to cut you off either, but you can you can actually go to Best Buy right now, or if you know somebody who has a certain discount. I was able to find an 8K 65 for almost a little under 3,000. So they're coming down, but you're going to get the last year version. So I want to know, I guess within the coming days or within the coming months, how that's going to compare. Because right now, Samsung is at the point where they're getting ready to start making this thing mainstream. It's not going to be a special signature, whatever their highest series is that like LG has. So just expect it to be there. But be mindful. There's no 8K content out really like that. Everything's going to be upscaled. There's no native. So
that's one thing. But the reason why I think this is important, which is good news I'm saying for people, you talking about how expensive it is for TCL to come out with an 8K version. Those prices, TCL TVs are not. They're not as expensive as Sony or LG. So TCL, you will find. I'm guessing. I'm not going to work right now. I think you can find that. I think they're going to come out. They're going to announce a TV. The TV pricing for an 8K TV going to be around $1,000. It's like I said, don't quote me exactly, but it's going to be around that $1,000 mark. So if it is around that $1,000 mark, that's going to drive Sony and LG and even
Panasonic.
Panasonic. Panasonic is supposed to be coming back to US too, and that's a whole nother topic on its own too. That's going to drive their prices down.
Yep,
and that's going to make it more competitive. About that, because their 8K TVs are and Samsung and 8K TVs are astronomical. They are super high. It's like $4,000 or $5,000 for the 8K TV, and we don't even have the content for it.
Right. Yeah. I think TCL direct competitor is going to be Vizio, and Vizio is actually pretty good. They have just about everything. The quality is not as good as a Sony or LG, but if you didn't want to pay the LG, the Samsung, I shouldn't say Sun, because I'm trying to talk about OLED portion of it. If you don't want to pay for
you can talk about any TV. You can talk about any TV. I'm just talking about the
OLED portion, because Samsung doesn't have OLED right now. Their main focus is QLED and the micro LED. I guess Samsung wants to lead into the micro LED, and then everybody's going to follow. But as far as if you want an OLED TV, Vizio is the way to go if you don't want to pay the OLED prices from Sony and LG. And for TCL to come out with that is really going to be very competitive for Sony and LG, because why would you buy that for $3,000 more where you can just get this, and it's what people will think it's the same thing. In a sense it is, but it's not the Sony processor, not this and not that. But you're going to get the visual aspect that everybody's always talking about.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And that's why I was going to talk about Vizio. That's another company too. Yeah, they had the OLED TV as well, and like I said, when you have competition, that's what drives down prices. When you just have Sony, LG, and Samsung, it's kind of like they dictate their own prices. They're on the same level. Yeah, they're on the same level. But when you get these other companies, and I'm not saying TCL is a bad TV. I'm not saying that Vizio is a bad TV at all. Or I think the other company was Hisense. I forgot how you pronounce that name.
Hisense. But, they're very popular overseas. They're like the Samsung of overseas. And they're huge.
They are pushing. But the thing is they are pushing the envelope to say we could do the same technology. Yeah, we might be missing on a couple of things, but at the same time, too, we give you the same exact features that these higher end companies like Sony, LG, and Samsung. And so that's where a lot of consumers are starting to go to them. And Sony, LG, and Samsung are seeing this.
Yeah.
And so by these other companies, I'm not trying to say they're lower companies, but what these other companies are doing the same capability, the same technology as these higher companies. That's where the competition is good for us as consumers, because that's what drives those prices down. And when you drive those prices down, it makes it more competitive. And when it comes to more competition like that, it comes with more innovation. When it comes to more innovation, that's where we get happy with technology and stuff. So it's exciting. So that was kind of like my whole spiel too and stuff. And the reason why I'm so excited about this here is kind of like is that TV companies are really starting to see that, gaming is very important, and they're trying to put these features in there. And that's where I think now I'm not saying last year TVs were bad at all. I'm saying this year now, I think the HDMI 2.1 is going to be a better buy if you are looking at those type of features. If you don't care about the HDMI 2.1, go ahead and go out and buy a TV. So
I agree.
Don't listen to me. But
listen to Max. Just you have options, right? You have options of which one is you have options. It's your money, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, but we just suggest, if you want something that's going to push the envelope of these consoles, then wait for the HDMI 2.1 and invest your money into that when it gets up to par. This year is a year for full bandwidth HDMI 2.1, and I'm not going to keep you long. Because I got to end the podcast soon. But I just got into an argument with a guy at Best Buy, and I was just talking because I just want to know if anybody released their TVs early. I knew it wasn't there, but the guy was telling me like, "Yeah, we have them, we have." I said, "Yeah, but it's not full." "Yes, it is." I'm like, "Dog, no, it's not." And so I had to explain to him what it was, and he was still just not hearing it. So you got to know your stuff. Research this stuff just like we do. And we suggested, I don't know, probably about 10 episodes now, to do not buy, if you're looking for HDMI 2.1, do not buy them right now. This year's the year to buy them when they come out. When the new TVs and stuff come out, go get them. Sony has a very good lineup to where you get 90% of the functionalities, even at their lower tier model. You still get 4K 120 just about all across the board with their TVs.
Yeah.
And that's
and
awesome.
Don't mean to cut you off too. And that's one thing that's good for the Sony lineup. They all had the same chip.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the same processor.
They had the same processor. It's not like how last year where they had the ultimate chip and had the extreme chip. They have all the same chip. But there are going to be differences between depending on the LCD LED TV compared to OLED, and they all going to have the 4K 120. They're supposed to have the VRR and ALM. I don't know how that's going to work and stuff like that. Do a firmware update, but they all going to have the same. They had the same processor and they had the same HDMI 2.1 capabilities. So sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, you're good. But I gotta kind of got to end this podcast a little early. My classes start today, so yay to me. So I have software engineering and I have HTML web development. So I'm actually excited. I had my software engineering class yesterday and then the one today, and I tried to schedule them where they don't line up with our content. Well, I didn't have a choice, and then I don't want to miss a whole semester because I want to talk on here, so but I'm excited. I got a few things coming along. I got my retro stream event up, so make sure you guys check that out. We're playing GoldenEye. I got my Facebook group. They picked it. They wanted to play it, so now I have a sit down with a few of my friends so we can do the online multiplayer. I have a way to set it up. But I have the game. I can't pull it out right now. I got it stuck in there. But I have the game, so it ain't like I'm illegally doing this thing. So that's why I got my picture of me holding it, because Nintendo is very particular about having ROMs and that type of stuff, because they say if you don't have the purchase, then you should not be doing it. But I have it, so and I have to prove that. But other than that, it's on the 30th. Make sure you guys check that out. I got the thumbnail up. I got the event up. I got our friend streaming, Mr. Almost Perfect. Check his page out. He's finally doing it. He's already reached 100 followers, so now he's a level up creator like me, and his stuff is 1080p 60 on his stream, so check him out. He's still learning a lot of stuff. And then I'm also making a tutorial video on how to get started with streaming. I've already started on it. Just got to give me time to do video editing and all that stuff, so it'll be on YouTube, so make sure you check that out. As always, like me and Max's page, Max Chambers on YouTube. I'm Moandogg on Facebook. Max, you got anything?
No, I just posted a new video earlier this week.
Go check that out.
Versus 1440p on my Samsung CG7. So hope you guys enjoy that. Make a comment on that if you can. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't and stuff. And I'll see you guys on the next one.
All right, see you guys. I got to go to class.
All right, take